What's going on, everybody? I am happy to have Karn Rai from Slabsharks here. Once again, we're tuning in from the Canada Sports Cards Group at the Toronto Sports Cards Expo. And, I mean, we have a big player in the hobby, someone who collects a lot of very interesting sports cards. I mean, man, your collection is one of the nicest I've seen. But most importantly, you are the top consignor in Canada and have just won an eBay award for Entrepreneur of the Year. Man, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think Entrepreneur of the Year, it's just a testament of, the hard work that goes into it every single day to consign your cards and help our consigners. And everything we do is based on helping the community. And the community itself is what builds our company. And we do everything in a way that provides a top quality service to sell your cards really quick and easy.
There's a buzz around the show around selling your Connor Bedard cards with Slabsharks.
Yeah,
you guys
awesome,
are offering. Yeah, no, seriously. I've talked to maybe 3 or 4 people who were like, it's a no-brainer. Because you guys are offering 98% payouts, correct?
Yeah, and that 98% payout actually includes eBay fees,
That's what I mean.
all fees,
That's
everything.
what I mean. Like that includes shipping, that includes taxes, that includes like you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah, we do all the work, the titling, the scanning, the shipping. If there's a return, dispute, refund, we cover it.
Unheard of.
I know, it's something that we thought of. We were actually going to do a higher number, 100% payout, and someone suggested, why don't you just match the jersey number? It'll be a little bit cooler having a 98.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? That's a fun thing to do. Let's do that. So if you have any Connor Bedard cards all year long, it's 98% payout.
Like to the end of 2023?
Yeah, till the end of all hockey season.
Season?
Long. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, product release.
So we're talking Young Guns. We're talking
everything. Every single thing, and
really?
it's working really well because I think
you guys are just saying screw it, like let's go all in. I like that.
All in.
I like that.
And I think we're becoming the go-to spot for Bedard cards. We've already done. The guys that don't like the Easter egg are not gonna like this. We've done about like 35 Easter eggs already.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
And they're selling pretty well, strong.
Yeah, I mean they're all probably like $700-800 range Canadian. No, I mean I feel like I could be wrong, but I'm excited. I can't believe that you guys are offering that for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah, we felt like it was a good thing to do. It's there's a lot of hype around Bedard, and we want the community in general to have the opportunity to buy big cards and buy big Bedard cards. And I thought the best way to do that is to get all those nice hits on a public forum that everyone can go and watch and see and bid on. And this is a good way to do it.
Genius. Let's talk a little bit. Yeah, no, I'm serious. Let's talk a little bit about stuff that you've been taking in so far this show. So this is day 3.
Yeah.
We just started day 3. You and I were having a brief conversation about how the first 2 days probably weren't as busy as I've seen in years past. At least the Friday. Today is absolutely rammed. I don't know if I've seen it this busy this early. What kind of stuff have you been taking in?
Surprisingly.
When it comes to the consignments.
Yeah, surprisingly first day did start off a little slow. It is dealer night though, so it's just the vendors walking
that's my
around.
Favorite night.
It is. It's fun. It's fun to go pick up some great buys at tables.
Yeah.
We were like, if you've seen our setup at the show, we do it all ourselves. The founders of the business are pulling in the cabinets, the video walls. We're grinding out there, and our setup is pretty intricate. So we were grinding, sweating that first Thursday, so we didn't really get a lot done.
You guys did it? Did you guys set up on the Thursday?
Yeah, Wednesday and Thursday, the whole time we were just grinding out there, just sweating. Honestly, even on Friday, we were sore, our backs were hurting.
I've seen the setup. I mean, so my friend, he was doing videography for me on Thursday. He came in and we did a full tour. It was the first time he's ever come in on a Thursday, and he's like, who do you think has the best looking booth? And I'm like, I'm gonna ask you that question. Who do you think? You obviously wanted to ask me, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. He said Slabsharks, and he toured this whole place, and so I mean, the setup is clean. If you guys haven't seen it, there's LEDs under all of the showcases. It looks very, very, it's top notch, man. And it speaks to, I mean, I've received packages. I received one this week from you guys where I know exactly what to expect. I got that little card coffin that I refer to as so. I just wanted to give you a big shout out there for 2 seconds while I interrupted your story.
Thank you.
What you've been taking this weekend.
Yeah, thank you. And to go on that point, we've been taking some big cards. We've had a few options coming in for our new service, which is fixed price to auction, where we're actually taking in cards worth about $10,000 plus, and we're allowing a fixed price option now, so you can actually list it at the price that you want to sell your card for. And if it doesn't sell for that price, then it goes into auction in 2 weeks. Okay. It gives a little bit of a leeway and understanding of what the offer market is like on a card. So based on that, we've got in a McDavid 101 Exquisite Collection PSA 10, Clear Cut Tribute. We've got in 2 Jack Hughes Cup RPAs out of 99. We had a Jack Hughes Cup Gold RPA out of 12, wow. BGS 9.5. And in terms of consignment cards coming up, we have the highest graded Bedard Easter egg coming our way. The first one, that's a BGS 9.5. Crazy tough card to grade. They're all 7s, 8s, and 9s. So that was a nice card. And just a lot of like variety of, Wayne Gretzky autos. There's a lot of Austin Matthews patch autos. So, and a huge comic book, actually. We got an X-Men #1 CGC 7, which is probably like a $15,000 to $20,000 plus comic book. And a surprising card, a LeBron James SPX printing plate from Exquisite 101. That was a cool card too. That's autographed on the plate.
What year are we talking?
That's 2004.
So like right after the rookie year.
But it's of the rookie year plate.
Really?
Yeah, so it's cool. So that's coming in auction on Thursday.
I'm surprised you didn't want in on that.
I was thinking about it honestly, and then I'm like, I gotta expand.
You're like, I have too many.
You know,
I know exactly.
I want to be very defined about what I'm collecting. So yeah.
Like, that sounds like it might be like touching on your alley.
Yeah, and on the point you made, like how our booth is looking and how it's operating at this show.
Yeah.
That's kind of what our kind of company motto has been, that we're made for Canadians by Canadians. And even if you go to our eBay store or About page, we explain that we really are trying to reinvest every single dollar back into this business to make it better for our consigners and our buyers.
Yeah.
So you made a comment about our shipping and the card coffin, which is a packaging that we have for every card that we send out. Customized, and it's going to get better and better. We really are trying to build something cool. We have our portal coming out as well, which is an app and a website.
You can track where your cards are at in terms of like the submission stage, correct?
Yeah, you can now, as of right now, when you consign a card, you have to go onto our eBay store and find your card and watch it, right? It's a little bit of a tedious activity, and we made it a lot easier. So now we're going to actually have unique consigner IDs. You log into your app, only your cards show up if you want to see just your cards, and you can see our auctions in the app as well. Yeah. And we've spent the last 6-7 months looking at every detail to get this perfected. So that's something that we're building out.
It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I was just about to ask you what can we look forward to from Slabsharks?
Yeah, I think on that note, we're just going to continue making it better. And we have, if you know me, I'm a guy that looks into the future a lot, and I build a business plan, and I look at what we can improve on every single day. I already have kind of a phase 1 and a phase 2 and a phase 3, and I think we've talked about this
you and I have talked about
on your podcast. And right now, I think we're just in phase 1. And
the fact that you're in phase 1, you guys are winning Entrepreneur of the Year with eBay is like, I feel like a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and it comes. It's a lot of hard work, and this is a shout out to my co-founders as well. Everyone is digging in. No one's really taking a pay to work at Slabsharks. It's a passion project, and they're coming in every single day, working hard to do this thing. And the only way we're able to do this thing is because we don't have high employee salaries or wages, because they're willing to come in and build this for free, basically.
And you just put it right back into it and just continue to build the machine, right? Like,
exactly.
I mean, so far so good. Like I said, people have come to me and specifically mentioned, like, oh, I'm just going to take this to Slabsharks for consignment. Like, that's like it's a verb now. Yeah. You know? So,
awesome.
like, that's not bad, man.
When we were picking our name, some people ask, why Sharks? Why Slabsharks? You know, it makes sense, but it doesn't, like, what is a Slabshark, right? Yeah. And for us, it was about making it a verb. What is easy to say? Yeah. What can catch on? Yeah. And we started just saying Slabsharks as a friend group amongst each other. And that
I didn't know that
very well. Yeah, that's how it started.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Who's the person who came up with the name? Like,
I think we had a group chat, and we just started like spewing random words together, and we tried fitting what made the most sense. We had weird ones. There's at one point there was a a seal involved.
Yeah?
Like the animal is
Yeah?
seal. And like we're just
What
like,
kind of
I don't
seal are
know.
we talking?
Like like the the hockey team, the Seals,
The Golden
right?
Seals.
The Golden.
California Golden Seals.
At one point, we were thinking of, we started off as like a company that was gonna create like cases, right? We're gonna
like a Zion cases
like
and stuff?
No, like like those like customized cases just for your PC.
Yeah, okay.
Where you can just like put your PC cards in and get a customized label, like a vanity slab type deal. We were thinking of starting off with that, right? Start off, and we were gonna call it Seal It Slabs.
Seal it?
So you seal it, your cards. And
But it was a seal though.
And that was kind of just like seal it. Sounds like a dumb idea.
No, that's okay.
Back.
I mean, listen, all ideas sound dumb until they're like
I know,
put into
exactly.
practice. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, if you look at like someone like Tim, who man, he's been killing it. I'm so proud of him. He just signed with like BCW with Slabsharks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was walking around with a big hat, and like if you were to tell people like, oh, what is this guy doing walking around with like a giant hat? Like that's like he was just on the grind. So every idea sounds stupid until you actually put it into practice, right?
And legitimately, the way I met Tim was I was walking at the National like 2 or 3 years ago, and he just chucked a slab at my feet, and that's how I met him. And his whole like dig was like, the car didn't break, it didn't crack, and you're just like, oh wow! I mean, that was the first time he saw anything like that in the hobby. Yeah. And it's cool, right?
It's crazy, man. So I mean, it just goes to show like the innovation is there's so much room for innovation in this space. Anytime that someone thinks that it's been done before, or there's nothing left to figure out, everyone's happy. Like it's just not true, right? We can get more efficient. There's always areas of opportunity. You guys are like, how long have you been in business so far?
Officially, I would say for about a year.
See
a
that?
year and a half.
And like, look at the growth already, right?
Yeah.
Like it just goes to show, like when you find an area of opportunity to help others in the space, maybe there's a bit of a disconnect in a certain market or a certain area, and you just run with it. I mean, you can. I mean, and you put in the work that you guys have put in, obviously. I mean, the growth can be exponential.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to what can you do to make it easier for the card collecting community and make it a better experience. And I know those sound like buzzwords, but it's literally as simple as that. And sometimes you just got to put the idea of margins and profit behind you and just build something that works and makes sense and makes it easier for the collectors and investors and speculators and everyone involved in this market. And that's kind of what we did. We just took it back to the basics and kind of had something here that helps people just get cash in their pocket.
If someone out there is looking to start a business in the space, what are some things that you would suggest?
Honestly, I would suggest a business plan. A business plan is extremely important. I think a lot of times businesses start on the fly. When an idea comes to your mind, you sit down for a week and actually plan out what you want to do. And that's just not just your idea of your business, but how do you start a business? How do you incorporate a business? How do you get your books in order? How do you get a bank account? Some of those tedious activities are the most kind of time-consuming things, and they're the type of things that actually weigh down on you in the first 6 months of your business.
Yeah.
Where am I going to do this out of? Which office? Which area? Am I going to sign a lease? Am I going to go for it? Those business activities are what makes a business. So the idea is what grows it, but knowing what to do prior is what's going to...
the idea is like almost like overrated.
Any idea can make it.
Yeah.
But not everyone can build the foundation of what a business entails.
That makes sense.
And customer service as well.
Yeah.
That's the next step. Once you have the foundation of a business, you're incorporated. You got your trademarks for whatever trademarks you needed. You have an accountant, a CPA. You get your CPA to get intertwined with your CRA account. Those type of things. Small in your head, but actually very, very big.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
man.
once you
you
get
don't
that
want to be dealing with
stabilized,
like legal like stuff, like a year in, 6 months in, you're struggling. You're like, man, like none of this is making sense financially, right? And it could be a great idea, but your books aren't in order.
Yeah, like for example, for our business, when it comes to a consignment company, it's about shipping. So we have to get our shipping companies in order. Which ones are we going to go with? Are we going to get a contract with one of them? So it's all about supplies, logistics, get all that kind of planned out at the start, and then go with your idea and grow it.
That's awesome. What is, I I mean, you're a collector as well first, right? That's kind of how this all started. How has your collecting shifted over the course of the last few months?
Last few months, honestly, I take it easy. I pick my spots.
Yeah. Is that different? Is that different from how it has been, or no?
No, there's obviously during the growth stage, it's a lot easier to spend more money because you're not as worried about the market, right? So it's easier to be loose with your finances. But when we're in a bear market, and I think the bear market is kind of here to stay for quite some time, you got to shift your strategy. I still want to collect. I'm not really trying to flip and make money in this market right now when it comes to buying and selling. Yeah. But I'm trying to collect. So I need to put like a kind of a stop mechanism on myself to stay disciplined. So I try to buy once a LeBron, because I collect LeBron rookie autos. I try to buy one every 3 to 4 months now, when I used to buy one like every month, right? So I'm just trying to expand that time horizon.
So you just have like caps, like
yeah, I'm only buying one. I don't really care if this one pops up that I need it.
How do you pick the one?
It's just whatever comes up first, honestly. Sometimes I'll pick it.
It's like the alarm clock goes off in the morning. You're like, okay,
I'll look at my goals. Like if the auto is not good on a card, I'll just like I'm gonna get a better one down the line, or if the patch is not good, I'll find another one down the line. So I just stay disciplined.
I mean, that makes sense.
I'm spreading my money out in longer terms. Okay. So it's not once a month, it's every 4 months. And the reason I'm doing that is because I think it's going to continue going down. And to find
down,
to find that stable floor, I think it's better to be patient than it is to.
Do you think people should be worried that like things are going to keep going down?
Not worried, because I don't think there's like a crash or a flash crash coming or anything like that. The flash crash already happened. A crash is when like something goes down like 30-40% like span of 1 week. I think now it's to a point where there are those great players like like a Jack Hughes in hockey, or like a Wembanyama in basketball, that can spike at any moment. That's a dime a dozen though, like a rare opportunity, like 3 players per sport,
I think even like per year, right? Like I mean, Jack Hughes, he hasn't really done anything yet. Like he has had the most points in a year, or in a season for the Devils. Yeah. But like how is that a big deal? Is that a massive deal so far? Like he put up 18 points in 5 games. That's great, awesome. He's still got to finish the season off. He says finish the season off strong. Maybe he wins a Hart Trophy, in which case and maybe some of his price tag is justified. But at the end of the day, Jack Hughes has really not done anything yet.
Yeah, and I think those spikes in those single players that occur every year. Last year was Jason Robertson, Tage Thompson. Right. It happens every year. It used to be Carter Hart. It used to be Clayton Keller. Yes. It's happened every single year I've been in this hobby.
Yes.
There's 3 to 4 players that spike up, but those spikes are what give people hope
for
sure,
in this 100%,
hobby, right?
100%.
And in a down market, maybe I'll pick the next guy, whether it be Dawson Mercer or
like Mason McTavish.
So that gives hope, right? Yeah. But the general rule of thumb is in a bear market, most cards are going to go down, and I don't think it's going to be a crash, but I think it's going to be just a steady,
like a gradual
2, 3, 5% per month.
I mean, that's kind of what the market, like the actual stock market, doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like weekly, it's like 1.5%, 2%, and then after like 2 months, you're like, okay, we're down like 9-10%.
Exactly, and I think the argument is always there that cards don't act like the stock market, and they don't. They're not stocks. However, what the stock market shows is the health of the economy, right? And the health of the economy now segues into how much disposable income someone has, and that disposable income now segues into how much money can be spent on cards. Yeah, that's why money dwindles, right? So
well, talk to me about this. Do you know much about like Bitcoin?
I do know a little bit. Not
so Bitcoin's on like a 45% run rate.
Oh yeah,
over the last 6 weeks. Yeah, right. I mean, the idea is that Bitcoin's a store of value. Mm-hmm. If that's true, some would argue, and they did argue early in 2021, that certain sports cards could be a store of value. If that were true, I'm struggling to figure out why, even in the case of sports cards, a tangible asset that like people collect, there's scarcity there. Why those cards are coming down when you see like even crypto right now on this like meteoric run. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but I found that interesting. So I'm like, if anything, I mean, it looks like people are transitioning from like into stores of value. right?
Yeah.
Like that's what that would suggest. I mean, there's like the stock market's going down a little bit. Depends on your definition of a little bit, but and people are kind of looking for alternate ways to put their money into something that might grow over the course of the next year, 2 years, 3 years, depending on where the economy is at.
Yeah, I think the store of value requires everyone that believes it to be a store of value to continue to believe it that way.
Yeah.
And you need it to be an efficient market, which means you need a lot of people to believe that is a store of value. Why is Bitcoin considered a store of value? Because there's thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people that believe that it is.
Yeah.
If there was only one, it wouldn't be a store of value.
You can look at the mantle, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Like the mantle, the 8 went down from last year, right? Like there was a copy that sold on Golden. A year later, the exact same copy sold for
Half
almost
price.
$1 million,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you're like, everyone accepts that the mantle is like, right? Like 90% of people who collect cards of any kind would say that the mantle is the GOAT of cards. It's probably the safest card ever, maybe, you know, in all of sports cards. So that kind of stuff I find super interesting because it's like, well, if that's not a store of value, then what is?
Yeah, so that's like the thing, right? The market of cards being a store of value is a very segmented idea, right?
Yeah.
It's a very niche idea. There's not a lot of card collectors when it comes to the whole grand scheme of the world, right?
No, that's
why
fair.
gold
That's
in
fair,
general is just
actually.
a piece
That's
of metal,
true, that's
right?
true. Yeah.
Gold is nothing.
Yeah.
But what makes gold a store of value is that you can go to India, you can go to China, you can go to a remote place in any country in the world, and they understand what gold is, and they understand that it's the store of value. But if you take your Mickey Mantle, you go anywhere else in the world, they don't understand it's a store of value. It's only a store of value in the card community and people that understand it. The art community is a little bit bigger. So now there's a store of value for wealthy people, right? And the wealthy community that loves art is a lot larger than the wealthy community that loves cards.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more of a store of value for just that community, right? What is a dollar at the end of the day as well?
Yeah, it means a piece of paper, right?
It's just a trust that it's a store of value from the government, right?
Yes.
We all trust it. Some people don't, which is why they moved to Bitcoin as a store of value.
That's correct.
That's why money and currency weakens and strengthens, because there's trust that shifts between countries based on activity in the world.
Exactly.
So that's why it's a store of value.
We just
but
went straight into macro.
it's a store of value, but to a small segment of the population.
You're right, though. You're right, though. Right, and I find oftentimes as collectors and as people who, you know, put money and time and energy into this space, like we kind of forget that at the end of the day, like, these are pieces of paper. These are like pieces of cardboard, you know, like, and I love them and you love them, and everyone in this place right now is appreciative of all different types of them. But at the end of the day, like, if you were to take this even to a restaurant, if I were to take that $1.5 million mantle into a restaurant and say, hey, listen, I don't have money right now. I will pay for this check with this card. They're gonna be like, get the hell out.
And that was a segment.
Get the hell out of my
with
restaurant.
Chad Blesnick for a bit.
They're gonna be like, get the hell out of my restaurant, right? They're gonna be like, what is this? I don't see value in this. I mean, what someone might. It's almost like that. There's like a fable, like, you know, a dad gives a kid the keys to his car, and the kid goes to a pawn shop, and the guy gives him like $50, and he ends up going to an antique card shop, and it ends up offering like $50,000. So anyway, all that to say, you know, collect what you like at the end of the day, because I mean, whether it goes up, whether it goes down, I mean, you're stuck with it.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, on a completely macro level, how do cards go up in value? They go up in value if more people believe it's a store of value.
That's true,
right? Because now, if there's more money pouring into this hobby, that's because more people believe it's a store of value, right?
Yeah.
So now, if everyone believes in the hobby and everyone's already in the hobby, then now that store of value is no longer in a growth stage, and that's why cards don't go up.
Yeah.
That's what happened in the 90s. Everyone started believing that cards were a store of value. Everyone was already in the market. There's no opportunity for cards to go up in value anymore, because everyone's already in.
And everyone owned the same thing, right? Like,
exactly, and there's like, thousands and hundreds of thousands of Ken Griffey Juniors.
Like, people are just marketed like, they're like, oh no, this is going to be a big money one day.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, think about how many people walk into card shops these days, and they come in with like junk wax stuff. They're like, hey, here's all my 90s stuff. Like, I have like Griffey rookies. And, I mean, I've seen it happen firsthand where people are like, yeah, that's like, you know, maybe a $3 or $5 card.
And
I just held this. Yeah. Like the ROI on holding something for 30 years.
I know.
You could have bought anything else.
Yeah.
Anything else. You could have bought like a cereal box, and it would have been like so niche. It would have been so antique. After 30 years, someone would probably pay like 20, 30x for it.
I know, 100%. And at the end of the day, as card guys, $500 of gold or $500 on a Bedard Easter egg. I'm gonna go with the Bedard Easter egg, man. Even though it's
love it.
It's a printed piece of cardboard.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. I love it. So Karn, let everyone know where they can. First of all, follow Slabsharks. Which platforms can they follow you guys on? How can they consign cards with you? Is it Canada only? Do you guys do the United States? I mean, we got lots of questions. Go for it.
Yeah, we're directed towards Canadians, but our buyers, 75% of them are from the United States, and we do have consigners from the United States as well.
Amazing.
A lot of our American consigners believe, we do a lot better with hockey cards specifically than American consigners do. We take consigners all over the world, and you can find us on Slabsharks Inc. on Instagram, and our eBay store is under the same name, Slabsharks Inc. And if you want to consign a card, just email us at support@slabsharks.com, or you can DM us on Instagram, or come to the Toronto Sports Card Expo. We're taking consignments here in person, and we'll get them up for you real quickly as well.
Amazing. Karn, I want to thank you so much for jumping on. I mean, we always have some fun talking. And team, get ready for our next interview. I mean, give Karn a round of applause, man.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.